Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the all-new Hyundai Elantra N. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Murdoch Hyundai here in Linden, Utah for giving me some time with this Elantra N. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Spencer. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood of the Elantra N, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through either an 8-speed dual clutch automatic or a 6-speed manual. Power outputs are 276 horsepower and then 289 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see really sharp lines, and then you got the Hyundai logo front and center. Really cool looking daytime running lights, and look at this trim off to the side, pretty aggressive looking. And then the whole grille is pretty crazy looking. You guys can see you've got that N logo there on the other side, and then of course you got the red trim here on the bottom, which all of the N cars have. And putting it all together, I really like the style here of the Elantra N. It's just kind of like in your face aggressive. Come around the side here, tire and wheel setup is 245, 35, 19 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the wheel design with the silver on the top and then the metallic gray below that. I think it looks fantastic. And of course we got the red brake caliper with the N logo on it. And then look at the red trim here. Another N logo that continues all along the side. Mirror caps are blacked out, and then notice the trim around the windows also blacked out. And then taking a look at the side profile here, I think the car looks really good, especially with the sharp lines you get from the regular Elantra. Just with the N stuff, it works. Now here's our key fob for the Elantra. You guys can see you've got the unlock function, the lock function, remote start, and the opening for the trunk, as well as the N logo here in the back with the Hyundai logo. But popping open the trunk. So as you guys can see, we've got quite a bit of storage space here in the back, and we've got these little pull tabs for the seats to throw those down, and we have reinforcing as well, which just kind of adds to the cool factor. And then when you're all done, just plop that down. Really cool looking spoiler here at the top, and then I love the tail light design here at the Elantra. Super cool with the light bar and everything. And then notice Elantra N right there, parking sensors down below, and then you got the red trim there with the exhaust tips on either side, which are also very aggressive. And then putting it all together, I think that this car looks fantastic, especially with this like purplish blue paint. It's really cool. Now taking a look at the rear door panel here, first off you guys can see with the Alcantara that goes across, I think that looks pretty fancy. Got our window control, darker door handle, pretty normal. And then with the seats here, look at the padding at the top, then you guys can see the Alcantara all down the center portion. And we've got this like blue stitching, that's another one of the N colors. Legroom here in the back is fantastic, and not much else to talk about. Oh, and headroom is also fantastic. Now with the front door panel, you guys can see we've got the Alcantara yet again, except for we got these cool like lines throughout, which is another nice factor. Anyways, all of our window controls here with our mirror adjustment, and then you guys can see with the mirrors, they've got blind spot monitoring. The front seats have that cool bucket design. Notice the N logo there at the top, and then you can see just like on the door panel, got that little design there. And look at the bolstering down below, very aggressive. And then you've got your adjustments here on the side of the seat, which are manual. Another N logo here, and then notice the pedals, very nice with the finish. We've got our steering wheel adjustment, which is manual, your lane keep assist, and then stability control. Now taking a look at the steering wheel itself, you guys can see really nice padding all around. It's perforated here on the sides so you can get a slightly better grip, and it just looks cooler. Really nice paddles here on the back. We've got our cruise control as well as our steering assist, volume controls, and then notice we've got our N mode buttons here on the steering wheel as well. And then you got your non-grin shift, which just makes the transmission extra aggressive with the shift points. And then taking a look at the gauge cluster itself, full digital gauge cluster. We can scroll through some different menus here to see different bits of info on the vehicle. And then we got our drive modes as well. Now let's get cool animation with the drive mode. Sport mode opens up the valves, by the way. But the coolest is the N mode, because then, as you can see, it gets extra aggressive. Now in reverse, we do have trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution with the camera system is pretty solid. Now as for the rest of the infotainment screen, first off, response time is fantastic. As you can see, it's just Hyundai's normal screen, but we do have this N mode tab, which has this cool animation as it starts up. The big thing is that you can adjust everything on this car. The engine, steering, the limited slip differential, the suspension, the ESC, the exhaust, the transmission. I mean, all of it is customizable. And by the way, electronic limited slip differential. Should have mentioned that a little bit earlier, right? We've got our analog controls for like the radio right here, dual zone climate controls down below that, and then our controls here for the heated seats. And then this is like our little charging port area with wireless phone charging pad. And then notice with the shifter, it's got the N logo on it, and then you got your drive mode button right in front of it, and then you guys can see you've got this for the camera just to pop that on. Couple cup holders right here with our parking brake, and then with the center console, decent storage space, got some nice padding on top. I also love the vents here, how it just goes straight across, and then decent storage there in the glove box, and then you guys can see up top with the padding. And then we have our control for the sunroof, and yeah, the Elantra N does have a sunroof. Now, when it comes to pricing, if you get an Elantra N with the dual clutch, you're gonna be like mid-30s roughly, but let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the Elantra N. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let us set off. This is a great day. Super appreciative that I've been able to drive all three of these cars. And something that I do want to mention is, just because of time constraints, I am going to be using the driving impressions from this Elantra point of view for my Elantra N review and for the driving comparison review. So I just had to get my seat adjusted there. But anyways, this one is by far the most comfortable when it comes to the suspension. More comfortable in the Kona, more comfortable than the Veloster's close, but this is more comfortable than the Veloster as well. So we are winning on that front. Transmission feels about the same, which is expected. Man, this is like a luxury car compared to the other two, honestly. Steering feels kind of a little bit lighter. Seat comfort with this. I think the seats are just as comfortable in this as they are in the Kona, maybe a little bit firmer, but they're more buckety, just like the Veloster seats, so they hold you in place really well. Brakes are really good on this too. Man, people always going over that line. I always pay attention when people stop at a stop sign, and I notice that people always go over the line, which is funny. Yeah, transmission's so responsive in this. Yeah, I mean, the ride quality on this is so much better than the Kona, and it's even better than the Veloster. Let's pop it into Sport. That's a cool wrap on that Tesla. Transmission's super responsive. Exhaust sounds really good. That is a fun sound out of the back. Gotta love these Zen cars. Yeah, here's the thing is, the sport mode with this is like as comfortable as like the comfort mode in the Kona. That just shows you how firm that freaking Kona is. Yeah, I love the transmission response. They've done such a good job with this one. Yeah, super responsive. We'll pop it into the N mode now. So everything will get mega aggressive. I feel like this exhaust pops more than the other two for some reason. I don't know why, but it just feels like it. Hey, Mexico with the Elantra. Oh man, this one puts down the power way better than the other two. Holy guacamole. And the exhaust on this one too, I feel like it does more pops and bangs. Oh man, this is such a fun car. And I can only imagine this with a manual transmission. Okay, let's see the handling. Handling. Whew. Man, the Elantra N. This thing is super underrated. This thing is super on. Everyone's looking at Honda Civic Type R, Volkswagen Golf R, Elantra N. Stop sleeping on this car.